Some sci-fi movies feel distant, like they could never happen, but others feel real, sometimes a little too real, not because of what they show, but because of how close they are to the world we're already living in. Technology, control, choices that shape everything. So, today we're diving into 10 dark sci-fi movies that feel closer to reality than they should. Number 10. The Signal. The Signal starts like a mystery. A group of students is trying to track down a hacker who seems to be watching them from the shadows, and at first it feels like a simple investigation. Nothing too unusual. But that changes quickly. They arrive at a remote location and suddenly lose control of everything. The main character wakes up somewhere unfamiliar, with no clear answers and no idea what really happened. And the more he tries to understand it, the stranger everything becomes. Reality starts to feel unstable. Details don't match, and nothing feels reliable anymore. And slowly, a darker idea begins to take shape, that he's not just lost. He's part of something much bigger, something that might be controlled from the outside. What makes the film stand out is how it keeps shifting your perception. Just when you think you understand what's happening, it changes. It's quiet, unsettling, and slowly builds the feeling that something is very wrong. Number 9. Equals. Equals takes place in a world that looks perfect. No war, no conflict, everything under control. But there's one rule: no emotions. If you feel something, you're considered broken. At first, everything works. People follow the system, life is stable and predictable. But then it starts to change. The main character begins to feel something: fear, curiosity, and then something deeper. And that's where everything breaks. Because in a world like this, even the smallest emotion becomes dangerous. The more he hides it, the stronger it gets. And when he meets someone who feels the same way, the situation quickly turns into something much bigger.
Seriously considering this.
If we stay here, we'll be found out.
If you make this decision, there's no turning back.
Number 8. Captive State. Captive State takes place years after an alien invasion, but not the kind you expect. There's no open war, no destruction. The world looks almost normal. Cities function, people go to work, life goes on, but everything is controlled. Humanity has already lost, it just doesn't feel like it. On the surface, it looks like cooperation. Governments working with the new rulers, everything stable and under control. But underneath, it's something else. Surveillance, fear, quiet resistance. The story follows people living inside this system. Some accept it, some fight back, and others are stuck in between, not fully understanding what's really happening. And that's what makes it work. It's not about chaos, it's about control. A world where freedom isn't taken all at once, but slowly replaced by something that almost feels normal.
You have a job to do.
Number 7. The Congress. The Congress begins in a way that feels almost grounded. An aging actress is offered a strange deal: to sell her digital likeness to a studio, giving them the right to use her image forever. No more acting, no more control, just a perfect digital version of her. At first, it sounds like a solution, a way to stay relevant in a world that's always moving forward. But years later, everything changes. The world no longer feels real. People escape into artificial realities, identities become fluid, and the line between real and imagined begins to disappear. And that's when the film shifts. It becomes surreal, disorienting, unpredictable. Reality turns into something you can choose. Identity becomes unstable, and truth almost impossible to define.
Can I go back to where I came from?
There is no such thing as the place that you came.
Number 6. Advantageous. Advantageous takes place in a world that looks almost identical to ours. No dramatic changes, no futuristic cities, just small differences that slowly start to matter. Technology has advanced, but society feels colder, more competitive, less forgiving. We follow a single mother trying to hold on to her job and secure a future for her daughter. At first, it feels personal, familiar, something real. But then, an opportunity appears. A procedure that allows a person to transfer their consciousness into a new body. It sounds like progress, a second chance. But the more you think about it, the more unsettling it becomes. Identity is no longer fixed. The body becomes replaceable. and the idea of self starts to fall apart. What makes the film stand out is how quiet it is. No action, no big moments, just a slow realization that this future doesn't feel distant. Number 5. Perfect Sense. Perfect Sense begins quietly, almost like a normal drama. People go about their lives, relationships unfold, everything feels familiar, and then something changes. Without warning, people start losing their senses. First smell, then taste, and it spreads everywhere. At first it's panic, confusion. No one understands what's happening or how to stop it. But what makes it truly unsettling isn't just the event, it's the reaction. People adapt, they keep going, they find ways to live, even as the world slowly falls apart. At the center of it all is a relationship, growing in the middle of this collapse. And that contrast, something deeply human in a world breaking down, is what makes the film feel so real.
Descends upon the world.
Number 4. Midnight Special. Midnight Special begins right in the middle of something already happening, without a long setup or clear explanations. A father is on the run with his young son, and from the very start it's obvious they're being chased, even if it's not immediately clear by who or why. Very quickly it becomes clear that the boy is different. He has abilities that don't quite make sense, something beyond normal understanding, and the more the story unfolds, the more you realize it's not just about protecting him, but about what he is and what he might become. The film doesn't rush to explain anything. Instead, it builds tension through silence, movement, and the constant feeling that you're only seeing part of the truth, always trying to catch up with what's really happening. And that's what makes it work.
Just worry about you, Alan. I like worrying about you.
Number 3. Under the Skin. Under the Skin begins in a way that feels almost empty. There's no clear explanation, no context, just a woman moving through the city, observing people, blending in, but something feels off from the very beginning. She looks human, she acts human, but she isn't. As the film unfolds, it becomes clear that she's studying us, watching how people behave, how they react, how easily they trust. And the more you see, the more uncomfortable it becomes, because everything feels real. The streets, the people, the interactions, nothing feels staged. And that's what makes it disturbing. There are long, quiet moments where almost nothing happens, but the tension keeps building. Silence starts to feel heavy, and every interaction carries a sense of uncertainty. What makes Under the Skin stand out is its atmosphere. It doesn't try to explain itself. It pulls you in slowly, leaving you with a feeling that something isn't right, even when you can't fully understand why.
You don't want to wake up, do you?
Number 2. A Cure for Wellness. A Cure for Wellness begins with a simple task. A young executive is sent to a remote wellness center in the mountains to bring back his company's CEO, and at first it looks like a luxury retreat. Clean, calm, almost too perfect. But very quickly something feels off. The place is isolated, the people behave strangely, and no one seems in a hurry to leave. As he starts asking questions, the answers don't make sense. The treatments begin to feel less like healing, and more like controlled experiments. And that calm atmosphere slowly turns into something unsettling. The deeper he goes, the more everything around him begins to shift. Reality becomes unclear. Time feels distorted, and the line between healing and manipulation starts to disappear. What makes the film stand out is how it builds that tension. It doesn't rush. It slowly pulls you into a world that looks perfect on the surface, but feels completely wrong underneath. Number 1. Never Let Me Go. Never Let Me Go begins like a quiet, almost ordinary story. A group of children grows up in a peaceful boarding school, surrounded by routines, nature, and a sense that everything is under control. At first, nothing feels unusual, but slowly, small details begin to stand out. The rules are strict, certain topics are avoided, and there's a growing feeling that something is being kept from them. As they get older, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Their lives are not their own. Their future has already been decided. And what makes it so disturbing is how calm everything feels. There's no chaos, No real resistance, just quiet acceptance. What makes the film stand out is how it builds that emotion. There are no big twists, no action, just a slow, heavy realization that stays with you long after it ends.
We didn't have to look into your souls. We had to see if you had souls at all.